Hey guys, just wanted to let you know that Outside the Ring Wrestling Podcast is still affiliated with SportsGrindDaily.com. SportsGrindDaily.com is a website for all your sports needs, whether it be football, basketball, etc. And of course, they carry this podcast for your listening pleasure. So just let them know that Cree and Paris sent you. And now, time for the show.
Promise strength. Ain't nobody man enough to feel the pain. And you could be next. You better give respect. Cause ain't nobody breaking this redneck. No, they don't want none. No, they don't want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They don't want none. No, they don't want none. They looking scared. No, they don't really want none.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our names are
Cree
and Paris, and this is the OTR Wrestling Podcast.
All right, guys, welcome back to another week and another edition of Outside the Ring Wrestling Podcast. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Cree.
And it's Paris, and you are now tuned into the bi-monthly duo whenever the fuck we feel like. No, actually, that's not true. It's honestly the studio we record at, guys. It's so competitive now to get into it. And we're always missing the dates, so we're just like, we don't have money right now, guys, to buy studio time.
Right.
Hopefully when I graduate this year, I can do that. Because I'll, whatever, something I want to do.
Or maybe any studio executives, you need a sugar baby or somebody. Let me stop. But
you just have a love for wrestling and don't mind two black girls talking about it.
Yeah, just call us up.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, we want to thank you for being patient with us because I know a lot of you are just like, so when is that podcast coming out? But
so I asked, did you guys cancel the podcast? I'm like, no, it's on hiatus right now.
Yeah, like. Shout out to Jose. He was just like, I'm just thankful y'all are recording today. So shout out to you. First things first, before we start the podcast, I just want to wish Paris a happy belated birthday.
21.
She turned 50 last week. Let me stop. She just turned, what was it?
25. I'm actually 25. I'm just lying and saying I'm 21.
Yeah.
Because, because that's 5 more years to 30 and I'm not going to get my shit together in 5 more years.
No one is. But, of course, you guys, tweet her happy belated birthday at PariXO on Twitter.
Yes, and send me lots of Roman gifts and Pharrell gifts because I love Pharrell's.
Right. All right, guys, so we're going to get into this podcast. Of course, we're going to cover Wrestlemania Weekend and Raw this week.
No, we're just going to skip WrestleMania. You guys saw it. No, of course we're going to talk about it. It's great WrestleMania.
All right, so as usual, with every podcast, we kick it off with wrestling news. First things first, we want to give our condolences to the families of Balls Mahoney, ECW original, and to Blackjack Mulligan, who was a relative of Bo and Bray Wyatt. So we want to give our condolences to them. We know it's hard to lose a family member, especially in the midst of Wrestlemania week and things of that nature. So.
Well, didn't Bray and Bo's family member die on Monday?
Yeah, Monday.
Yeah, so.
And then I think Balls Mahoney was the day after his birthday.
Yeah, so definitely give our condolences to them. I always think it's really brave of a wrestler to continue on wrestling.
Right. Yeah.
When they hear bad news, because I'm just I couldn't. I probably could if I found the inner strength, but I always look at them in that much more light.
Right.
And I may not be a fan of Bray's character. When we separate the character from the actual human being, it's I heard so many great stories about Bray's one of the nicest people you can meet at the airport at 2 o'clock in the morning.
When he doesn't want y'all in his face, but y'all there.
Stop stalking wrestlers. It's not cute. You don't see Cree and I at JFK or LaGuardia. And I live in Queens. Those airports are in Queens, and I have access to them. You don't see me at the damn airports yo, Roman, no. I sleep too. Actually, I don't be sleep.
Anyways.
That went off a total other way.
And speaking of Bray Wyatt, we want to give our love to him because he did suffer a calf injury on the European tour. It was kind of weird because I saw the video. It was a match with him and Roman. They locked up and then they kind of pushed Roman into the corner, and then his leg kind of just gave out on him. So hopefully it's not too serious where it's just like a situation where he had like we call it Charlie horse.
Yeah,
where,
I hope it's a Charlie
yeah,
horse.
because they were on that flight for like how many hours and then to go wrestle, like I'm sure their legs were swollen and all of that. So we want to make sure he has a speedy recovery and it's not too serious. Yeah, like we don't need.
Cena's gonna come back probably in like Payback. Is that the next pay-per-view?
Yeah, probably.
So,
or maybe the one after that.
Extreme Rules.
It's Payback, and they actually switched it. It's Payback, then Extreme Rules.
That's why I was confused.
Yeah, WWE, why did you switch it this year? Like, that was weird, but...
I know Extreme Rules is happening in Jersey.
Yeah.
I low-key want to get cheap tickets to it.
I do, too, but I'm broke. So.
If I get tickets, you can come with me. Get your tickets,
Yay!
Mobbing. Nah.
And so next, going on to the next piece of news, WWE actually announced that Lana, Naomi, Maurice, and Renee Young are going to be on the next season of Total Divas. The Total Divas name is speculative right now because it was announced that also through dirt sheets that Total Bellas, the phrase was actually trademarked by WWE this week. So there's speculation that that will be the new title of the show because obviously this year at WrestleMania, we dropped the Divas name and we brought back the women's title in the women's division. So of course you can't be called Total Divas anymore if the girls aren't called Divas anymore. So that's speculation. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know a lot of people aren't here for it. I know Paris wants to say something.
My screwed face right now.
Yeah.
It's like time like this where I wish we did like a recording, a visual recording,
right? So
you can actually see our reactions to some shit or see mine most. Because I always have a screw face. Like, I'm ridiculous with the faces. No, it's just like, no shit, Sherlock. Of course Total Divas was going to fucking fail because you took off Naomi, and every single one of her episodes are literally the most viewed episodes on Total Divas. B, I don't know what y'all see about Maurice. I don't get the hype yet. Maybe I'll get it later on.
I don't. All right, so let me say this.
Cree gave me like the cut it.
Yeah, cut it. Because I'm not about to have diva stands in my mentions. No. But here's the thing. I never was a Maurice fan.
Y'all niggas come in my mentions.
No, I was never a Maurice fan when she was out. The thing is, I see the potential in this new storyline with her and The Miz and Cesaro and I believe Zack Ryder. So I see the potential in it. I think if she can add something to Miz, then that's great. But as a wrestler, she never did anything for me. But that's y'all girl. That's y'all's girl.
Acting like when she was like, he only drinks whatever type of water. I'm just like you gotta. If you're gonna be a bitch, be a bitch. I know a lot of you people don't like Nikki Bella. I wanted to mention your name, but I'm gonna chill. You don't like Nikki Bella because for whatever reason.
Who are we gonna name?
Lena.
Oh,
Lena hates her.
Yeah, okay.
He's like, fuck Nikki Bella. There's a picture of Nikki without her brace, and Lena was like, this bitch that ain't even pro.
Well, it's not anymore.
It's not, but I'm just like, she wears the brace because, from time to time.
Right, yeah.
I can't even, whatever. But anyway, no. Nikki plays a bitch. I think Nikki's just a bitch in real life, to be honest with you. And she does that shit very well. You
know what? Nikki doesn't even play... who plays a really good bitch, and I feel like that's her character in real life? AJ Lee. She really is a bitch.
No, but I heard AJ Lee's really nice in real life.
Really?
I have heard that from a few people.
We hear different...
her fans. She's
to her fans, yeah. But I've never heard a story of Nikki being mean to anybody that was a fan.
I mean, Nikki want to keep getting the Louboutins, don't she?
What? Are you talking about her throwing it at her sister?
Listen, Nikki not gonna be rude to anybody because I feel like it's hard for you to be rude to somebody when you're connected to such a powerful brand, aka John Cena.
But
like it or hate it, they're connected no matter what.
That's true. But
even if they break up today, people will
true.
still be like, if Nikki could go in a restaurant and while underrated, they're like, oh, this is why John Cena broke up with you.
Right.
They're always gonna be connected. Same with John Cena. If he goes to the restaurant acting like a dickhead. Oh, I see why Nikki left your steroid using ass.
Oh my God.
Let me stop. John using steroid.
But you know what's so funny? I think Nikki gets a bad rap because of what she likes. Because there's women who are considered high maintenance never get a good rap.
I mean, to be honest, when I follow her on Instagram and it does annoy me. She's like, new Olivia, whatever, new Louboutins, and I'm like, all right, girl, I get it. You like designer shit.
But you see what I'm trying to say, because she likes designer shit, people tend to not like her, but they don't know her. Whereas
true.
With Brie Bella,
I don't like Brie Bella. So.
No, but I'm saying a lot of the girls that don't like Nikki like Brie because they assume, oh, she's a free spirit, she's so much nicer.
Brie looks like a bigger, pompous, arrogant bitch than Nikki. Granted, Nikki would probably look at my outfit and be like, oh, you ain't got no Yeezys? And like, Brie would look about and be like, okay, but where's the cotton organically made and sourced?
Oh, gosh.
And how dare you not eat organic chicken? I'm just like, bitch, it's a fucking, I'm not rich like you. I don't have those. I could sit down and have a conversation with Nikki Bella, because I could probably go up to her after a while. Yeah. Because I used to be materialistic when I was, that really fucked up. Materialistic when I was like in junior high school. I used to love designer labels. Right. Got out of that shit once I realized how fucked up the industry is towards fat people. And but like Nikki, I feel like I could have a conversation with her as opposed to Brie will make me want to punch her in her face.
You know what, Brie? I'm not even gonna lie. Brie is probably my least favorite of the two, just because on Total Divas, she always seems like she has an attitude with something. She always has an attitude. And I think it's because it's not her fault. Because if you're married to Daniel Bryan, you have to wake up with the attitude. Like, I just know you do. This man is so, like, and he's probably really nice in person, but how he comes off on Total Divas when it comes to, like, the nature and, like, the environment, even though he's really, it's okay to be passionate about certain things.
It's really okay. Like, we're not hating on the fact that you're passionate.
But, like, that episode where he was with Dean and Renee at that resort, I was just like, I would kill him in his sleep. Like, there's no way I could hang out with that man longer than an hour.
30 minutes.
Not even 10. Like,
it was like, what? You know what, Daniel? I'm going to go eat this burger that was probably, a cow, and it just shotgunned him to the head.
Oh, God.
And I'm going to get some cheddar cheese, which is probably made from the cow's milk before they shot and killed him. And no vegetables because, pesticides and shit. So power to the nature. Like, I'd be such a fucking ass. Because it's just like, he's one of those vegans who are just like so fucking arrogant.
I feel like the one thing, like, so far, like, I don't mind vegans. Like, if you don't eat meat, whether it be because you don't like it or it's for morality issues, do you? I'm gonna fuck up this chicken regardless.
I'm saying,
but like, when you start becoming like the ones on Twitter that try to complain and say, oh, killing animals is just like killing human beings, when you know damn well it's not the same thing.
Or one of the ones on Twitter who just became vegan and I'm shading somebody right now and trying to give advice to niggas, and it's like, bitch, you became vegan 5 seconds ago. How are you trying to tell me how to make cabbage soup, my nigga? Like, chill the fuck out. My grandmother has made that for me whenever I was sick, and she's from down south. Like, I'm sure I'll be good. Like, it's okay.
It's just annoying.
It's really, and like, we went way off the topic.
Yeah, we did. I just hope that the next season of whether it be Total Divas, Total Superstars, or Total Bellas, it's interesting. Like, do not, like, they just did a photo shoot on the beach.
Why can't it be Total Women?
Because that can apply to anything.
So,
to be honest with you,
I mean, like, honestly, I like Total Women because of the fact that it's not exclusive. It can literally be any woman in the world.
But they're focusing solely on
the divas.
Yeah, women wrestlers now. But yeah, it's gonna be hard to not say divas for a while because we're so used to saying it. Because I never had a problem with the term diva.
I didn't either. I had a problem with the belt.
The belt, fine. We'll get to that also. But the term diva was a branding term. Like, it made, like, not every the divas were women wrestlers, but not every women wrestler was a diva, if that makes sense.
It makes sense.
So it's just like, now that they got rid of it, it's great for all the misogynistic fans that really don't care about anybody else but the Four Horsewomen. But, like, every other fan, it's just like, okay. But yeah,
So, just to really quickly touch on the Total Bella's name, just real quickly, I'm not going to get into it like that. I have a problem with the name because it's like, the Bella storylines are literally the most boring storylines to me. Because while I love Nikki, like, I think Nikki's a great wrestler. Come at me with your comments, it's fine.
No Nikki Bella shaming. Sorry. Go ahead.
No. Like, she's a great wrestler to me and everything. Better than her sister. But Nikki's storyline is literally always the same thing. It's either a problem with Brie, a problem with John, or she's trying to get to, like, I think there was like 1 or 2 episodes where she's trying to do like hosting, which I totally see her doing.
Yeah, I see her doing that.
And it's just boring to me after a while. It's like, okay, you have this amazing body. I know how you got that body. Like, I'm saying she worked out for it. Mm-hmm. Boobs, whatever. Everybody gets their boobs done once or twice in their life. Like, whatever. With Brie, it's Daniel Bryan.
Wanting babies.
Beef with Nikki. Daniel Bryan. Beef with the fact Nikki eats chicken. Daniel Bryan.
Or like a situation where Nikki tells Brie, oh, Brie, you shouldn't do this. And then Brie is like, you can't tell me what to do. I'm a married woman and you're not. So, that storylines
are super boring to me. Whereas Naomi's is like, it's either her and John, which I love it when they're beefing because it reminds me of David and I so much. Or it's like she's trying to get to the next level of her career. Or I think it's an episode where she was like she is a stepmom, but they actually showed her being a stepmom,
right? Yeah,
which was like cool. I was like, oh, she makes mistakes, but she's so adorable. You kind of just want to hug her.
And it's like, I hope that with the new show, I hope they reformat it, if anything.
Yeah.
Show more backstage stuff when it comes to them working out in the ring. Because season 1, they used to do that a lot. They used to show the Performance Center, show them doing Be a Star, the reading challenges, any other type of radio station performances that they do.
TV appearances.
Yeah, they do so many stuff that we don't get to see.
Exactly, because we live in different states when they're doing this stuff.
Right, and then on top of that, everything we always see on Total Divas is relationship-based. Petty drama that has nothing to do with anything that has to do with wrestling. And then on top of that, they don't even correlate with the stories. The editing is horrible. They just need to get it together.
She is.
I hate it. I remember when they started this season, they were talking about SummerSlam and Beast in the East, but Beast in the East happened before SummerSlam. And the Divas, the 4 Horsewomen, didn't even come up yet. So, how are we correlating these stories together? And they don't make sense.
At all. When I was like, Naomi's not on. Oh, what's the?
Yeah,
I like Rosa. I do like Rosa, but I don't like Rosa enough to watch it.
And then Alicia and Paige are just annoying together. I'm so glad Alicia's not on the next season. I got, the last 2 episodes, we got to see a lot about Alicia's family life, and it makes sense to who she is based on who her mom is, who her sister is, all that stuff. So it makes sense, and I'm kind of sad that now when she's getting taken off, they're showing that. Yeah. But her and Paige together is a fucking headache. I could not do it.
Yeah, I saw that ride along. I was aggravated with it.
And Rosa, unfortunately, she was pregnant this season, but her pregnancy was just not enjoyable to watch. There were instances where she talked about religion that was going to play a part in her child's life. But it's just other than that, they didn't show enough of it. They didn't show all the good stuff. And
I wish they would have kept on because I would love to see her wedding.
She's not married yet.
But she's going to get married. Isn't
she
engaged?
She's engaged.
That's what I'm saying. I would like to see her wedding.
I honestly think what they do with Total Divas is they shake it up with the girls. So honestly, next season, Naomi's going to be on, but I'm pretty sure the season after that, she's going to be gone, and then Rose is going to come back. But honestly, I think Naomi needs to be a constant member on the show.
Or have her own show.
At this point,
she should do web,
do
YouTube.
vlogs on YouTube. Because I'm pretty sure the Usos, Roman, all of them would pitch in, I'm sure they would. Because I remember Roman did this interview this week saying there needs to be a Total Usos show where him and the Usos. But I would love to. I'm sure everybody would love to watch it. It would do well. But
I would really, and this is super nosy, but it's the society we live in has made us want this shit. But I would love to see more into Roman's family life, him with his daughter, him with his wife.
But you know what? I think he might keep it to a minimum
We're
because
not gonna see his daughter all the time.
Because of things that happen online, I hope he doesn't. Because we'll talk about it off because I don't want to say it on here.
Okay.
God forbid somebody from WWE is listening, but it's certain things that happen where it's really disgusting.
Well, my thing is I feel like we saw he's protective of his daughter. We
we see
at
that.
WrestleMania, he doesn't care. He just went to her and everything. So I don't think we'll see. If he was to have a show,
it'd be very I think he pick and choose the moments.
Yeah,
that he gives us.
Won't always see.
He's gonna be like Beyonce and Blue Ivy. He's gonna cover
glimpses
her face.
Of her.
You know what I mean?
Just glimpses, but just to see him as because I'm sure he helps out his family, see him navigate his family life,
right? Yeah,
navigate his marriage while being on the road all the time, being this big ass superstar that he is, and having to deal with crazy ass fans talking about the airport at 2:00 in the morning because y'all ain't got no damn lives or home training.
Oh gosh.
And I would see Uso show too, just because the Usos are fucking hilarious.
But yeah, Naomi, girl, if you listening, just you and the Usos do vlogs on YouTube.
Yeah, and I would watch it, especially when you're always getting your hair did.
And then you could put your own music as the intro and the outro, girl, do you?
And we get to see you in all these different cities and doing the shit that you want to do, which they barely get to do touristy shit. So I just think it'd be interesting inside a wrestler's life. But
and then she can edit what she wants to be seen and what she doesn't, because I'm pretty sure there's probably stuff on Total Divas she did not want us to see.
I'm sure too.
So
I mean, when it comes to reality shows, they don't give a fuck as long as you're selling
something. Yeah.
So with that being said,
next topic, because we went over with that. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I'm pretty sure the men that are listening that don't watch the show was like, all right, get on to the next thing. All right, so this week, the clip of that transcript with Hulk Hogan basically saying the N-word and whatnot was released. So if you read the transcript, it was basically the same thing that he said, just with audio proof now. And I just hope that with this, WWE never calls him back again.
Cree.
Like, just never.
Okay, Cree. Okay.
Never call him again.
As much as I want that, and you know I can't stand the Hulk.
Yeah.
I think Hulk's one of the most overhyped wrestlers. And that's because I really was never into him like that, I guess. Because I grew up in the Attitude Era, and, like, he was a part of it, kind of.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm more of a Rock, Steve Austin type person. More so The Rock.
Of course.
Like, you know, Rocky is bad. Not even,
Did
like,
you
before...
see his daughter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, but seriously, like, I just don't see what purpose the Hulk can bring to WWE anymore besides making his racist ass, sexist ass fans be so happy when his music hits and everything he comes out in. But, like, remember, was it last year he came out, he was, like, on Raw every fucking week.
Yeah, and he was doing, like, the promos for the network, and it was just,
it
was too much. Like, it was like, I feel like with Hulk Hogan and a lot of the legends,
yeah.
Once we saw you, every once in a while you were hyped, but we kept seeing him. So it was just like, okay, we're bored now.
Like, I know there's one legend everybody would not mind seeing all the time over and over, Heartbreak Kid. Like,
of course. Like, if
it.
Shawn Michaels was to do a tour right now where he just, like, select matches, I'm sure that would make so much money. Yeah. But, of course, at the end of the day, Hulk Hogan is just an older superstar. Like, we just don't see it for him anymore.
Excite me. He never did. It's just like once I just found out he made racist comments and just like.
And then like when you find out backstories and how he refuses to put over superstars, it's just like, why do we need you here?
Man, and it's just like, you know what? Okay, fine. You do a little, whatever you want to do.
All right, so we're gonna go on to our last topic, and I got this a little bit later today from Soraya. She was just telling me to bring up the whole fact that Adam Rose and Connor from The Ascension are now suspended for violating their wellness policy, and it's actually the second time they've done so. So now they have 60-day suspension. It's not really said what exactly it was, so we can speculate that it was narcotics or it was a form of steroids.
But Cree seems to think that if it was in fact steroids, that they would be fired because that's what Billy Gunn was fired for.
Yeah, so Billy Gunn was fired like late last year for using steroids. So I'm thinking if that was a possibility, they would have been gone, especially because it's the second time they violated the policy. But I'm going to assume it was drugs or something.
A part of me wonders, like, if it was one of those drugs that... Because are they on the European tour right now, or they was?
They're on the
Was it like one of those drugs that they take to like go to sleep on planes and stuff, and like it just makes
you know what? I always assume that when you sign up for WWE, they give you a list of medications you can't take. Okay. So maybe that could be it. But I feel like if you know for a fact that you're going on a European tour, there's certain things you can't take, you wouldn't take it.
I feel like, and this is going back to a comment Lena had said when you had asked people, like, what should we talk about? Yeah. And she was like, why would Adam do that? He really has nothing going for him right now.
Well, he's in the social outcast,
okay,
and
he really has nothing
even
going
though
for
that's
him
not
right now.
That's nothing big, he's still getting TV time that people in the back wish they were getting.
And that's my thing. Like, if you just now carving out another section, because he tried. This is like his third gimmick. Right. He came out as a party guy, and then he was a heel party guy, and now he's on the social outcast.
You know what I think it is? Because, I assume they do these by random dates. Like, they don't tell you when they're going to do the drug testing. So, probably he, like you said, he probably took medication that he wasn't supposed to.
I feel like it might have been a medication. I feel like you're not going to risk, especially if you're going on a flight.
To go to Europe.
Like, you're not going to risk TSA.
And that's true, because I don't think England plays when it comes to drugs at all. Like, if you've been in jail for drugs, you're not allowed in England. So
I really do truly believe that he took, like, a sleep aid or whatever and made his piss dirty.
And then with Connor from The Ascension, to be honest with you, he, even though he isn't really doing much with himself either, he and Victor are on TV weekly. So it's just like, I really do feel like it's a situation where they took something that wasn't necessarily
illegal, but it makes your pee feel like, look like it's illegal.
So hopefully when they come back from suspension, they're able to be back on TV. I know that the social outcast, it's probably going to affect them because obviously last week on Raw, all four were there. So then to now see them as a threesome rather than a foursome, now it's going to be a problem. But
them's the breaks.
All right, guys. So that was wrestling news, and we'll be right back to talk about Wrestlemania Weekend. All right, guys, so we're back, and we're going to talk about Wrestlemania Weekend. I'm just going to kick it off with TakeOver Dallas. So, of course, you guys know that NXT had their quarterly takeovers this year. It was in Dallas for Wrestlemania Weekend, and it was a pretty good show. It's not the best takeover they ever had because, of course, that was in Brooklyn, but this show was really anticipated from the match card. We had the arrival of Shinsuke Nakamura. We had Austin Aries jump into the fold. We had Bayley versus Asuka. The tag team competition was American Alpha, Jason Jordan and Chad Gable versus the Revival of Dawson and Wilder. And it was a pretty good show. I'll just break it down by the matches. First things first, American Alpha versus the Revival was a pretty slow-paced match, but it was good. They had some botches, but of course, to me, botches happen. It's not that deep. But of course, American Alpha picked up the win, and they're the new tag team champions down at NXT. And if you've ever seen the interview with Jason Jordan and Chad Gable, I was so happy and proud of them. Jason Jordan broke down in tears because his childhood was rough. You know, he had brothers that have been in and out of prison, and he just wanted to make sure that he had the best possible life for himself. So congrats to American Alpha. I'm really happy for you guys. I hope that when you guys come to New York for SummerSlam weekend, I can see you guys live.
She wants to hug you guys.
Yeah.
She wants to hug you guys and kiss you on the cheek respectfully.
And of course, happy belated birthday to Christine. She's a huge Chad Gable fan. So hopefully when they come to take over as well, she might be able to meet both of them because she loves them too. Next, we had Austin Aries versus Baron Corbin. This match, I think, was probably the worst one on the card.
Really?
Yeah, it was not good. It was very slow. Like, technically, there was nothing wrong with the match because both of them, I think, can work pretty well in the ring. It's just that it was very slow and it was very boring. But other than that, I think Austin Aries is going to have a great run down at NXT. Baron Corbin just made his main roster debut. Paris is eating in the studio, even though there's this big-ass blue sign that says no food.
And there's an empanada, like, that's the worst. Like, I just was in here, like, eating ribs and shit.
Right, I can understand that, but...
Y'all don't stop walking by this window.
But it kills me because your face you just made. Sorry, guys. Okay, so next we have the women's match. Asuka versus Bayley for the NXT Women's Championship. And this match, I have to say, was probably one of the most highly anticipated matches next to Shinsuke and Sami Zayn. And I was actually kind of surprised how slow this match was because Asuka is she's a very fast worker, and she's probably one of my favorite women's wrestlers in the world right now. But she and Bayley did deliver, and we have a new champion, so congrats to Asuka. She's the first Asian women's champion down at NXT. And like NXT does really well with like
diversity.
Yeah, because Charlotte and Paige were obviously the women of European descent. And then we had Sasha being the first black champion. Now we have Bayley being the first Latina champion, and then
Bayley's Latina?
Yeah. And then we have Asuka as the first Asian champion. So shout out to all the women down at NXT.
Hunter, I wonder what you can do for the women in WWE that you do at NXT. I wonder what the fuck. You said like Asian, first Latina, first black. Let's see. We had a Latina, AJ Lee. We haven't had an Asian champion yet, or have we?
That was for I don't think Gail Kim was the women's champion, so yeah.
I think we need another black champion, because Alicia
was the only Divas champion that was black.
I'm just saying, Triple H Hunter.
But yeah, so...
no, I digress. I'm going to eat my empanada.
Continuing, this was probably the match of the year, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn. I would say this match was like 10 out of 10. Like, it was that good. If you get a chance to watch it, Paris, definitely watch it.
I watched the highlights. It was pretty good, the highlights.
Shinsuke Nakamura, he's from Japan. He was the recent New Japan Wrestling Company champion, I believe. He was the last champion, and he left to come here. One of the most charismatic stars I've seen in WWE in a while. And I think that him in NXT is going to be great. He's, like I said, he has probably one of the best contracts down at NXT. He makes, like, almost damn near Brock Lesnar money for his appearances down at NXT. And he makes more than most people on the main roster do, so.
Does he actually show up, like, more than 3 times a year?
Oh, no. He's actually at, they do live shows for NXT. Mm-hmm. He actually is there, and I was actually surprised that he's on the live shows.
Okay.
But I definitely say Shinsuke is going to make them a lot of money down at NXT. She's drinking and eating, and the security guard just walked past. She's an idiot. I swear to God.
Oh, shit. That was funny.
I'm so sorry, guys.
I'm
There's
not.
never a podcast where we can do something straight going into it with no type of bullshit going on.
We have no professionalism. It's fine. Like, we really think about doing it, like, visually so you guys can see the idiot shit that mostly I do. And how Cree's just fed up with me.
Yeah.
And you would think Cree's the older one. It's like...
All right, so like I said, Shinsuke versus Sami Zayn was the match of the, like, I think it's going to be one of the matches of the year in WWE, and I can't wait to see Nakamura on the main roster. And, of course, we go into the main event, Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe for the NXT Championship. I'm not going to lie to you, I was disappointed with the result. I felt like Samoa Joe should have took the championship from Finn Balor. The match was great. Unfortunately, Samoa Joe got a cut in his eye, so he was bleeding a lot. And they had to stop it several times to stop the blood. And the fans were just not having it. They were chanting, "Fuck PG," and "Let him bleed," and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like...
If he's bleeding from his eye, like, goddamn.
Like, God forbid the blood got into his eye and he couldn't see, or... Like, let's say hypothetically he had, like, a disease or something. That could have affected Finn Balor or the referee. Like,
this
come on.
Boxing. Like, no, that, like, fans need to get their shit together. I
Like,
like blood, like, more than a next person. But, like, if a person is obviously in pain and bleeding, yeah, stop the match so you can make sure he's okay. And if he can't wrestle, I'm going to be fine with that.
And the thing is, Samoa Joe was a tough guy. He's really tough.
Yeah. So, you see when he broke down Brian's neck again? That was a fucked up comment.
That wasn't even the right person, but okay.
Sorry. That was somebody who must have taken Brian's neck.
Anyways, because I can't stand Paris. But anyways, yeah, so I would have to say that if I had to rate TakeOver, it would give it a 7.5 out of 10. And then I think that's solid. I can't wait to see their next TakeOver. I believe that one will be in June or July. I don't know if they're going to have another one for SummerSlam weekend, but hopefully they do, because I want to go.
I actually might try to go with you this year.
If it doesn't fall on Afropunk.
Yo, we have problems. Afropunk definitely just released their dates, and the lineup's getting released this week. And I'm telling you right now, if it's the internet or SZA or Erica, no, I'm really not.
You can keep Miss Badu. You can keep
I
her.
just said that, so I'm really not.
But,
like
yeah. All right, guys. So we're going to go transition right into Hall of Fame. Of course, this year's inductees were listed, and they were The Godfather, Big Boss Man, Jacqueline, Freebirds, whatever, Snoop Dogg, and it was Joan London, I believe was her name.
Yeah.
And Sting. So that was the inaugural class. Well, not the inaugural, but the class of 2016. And what's his name? Stan Hansen.
And we missed another person.
We are?
Are we the guy who passed away, unfortunately?
Big Boss Man, I said that.
You said that?
Yeah.
Okay, apologies.
So let me just say it again because I did mess up. So Big Boss Man, Godfather, Stan Hansen, Jacqueline, Freebirds, Snoop, Joan London, and Sting.
Yep.
So that was the class of 2016.
And I can't help but feel so proud that Jacqueline's in the... Like,
oh
I
my
honestly
God.
do think it was, why can't I remember his name? And I talked to him all the time on Twitter. He runs Views from the OTR, Cree.
Oh, Nate.
Thank you. I'm like, what? Like, what's his name? Anyway, I can't help but feel like all of his hard work, all of the campaigning via Twitter. Like, I don't know if it became a trending topic, but that's not the point. But it's like social media is very powerful, and like, believe it or not, WWE really does look and see how people are reacting, and I felt like they know they would have gotten a bunch of shit if they were in her hometown
and didn't pay
her homage.
So shout out to Nate, because honestly, like, when we brought it up during Black History Month, we did not think that, like, it would get traction at all.
And people would actually want to see this.
Right.
Like,
so his hard work and his dedication is the reason why, honestly, that it got out there and people were talking about it.
I do feel like that was, like, a major key to her.
Right, yeah.
Like, WWE will never admit it.
Right. They'll never let you know, but yeah.
Yeah, I really do feel like they heard fans saying, listen, you're going to be in her hometown. That's like you not giving us a Stone Cold and being in whatever. You know, he's already in the Hall of Fame. But I digress. The Hall of Fame.
It was actually solid. Like, it was good this year. With the exception of the Freebirds. Fuck them forever.
Stan,
Hansen? His was a little boring. And you know what? I have...
His speech went on for like an hour, Craig.
The Freebirds had a whole production.
I wasn't watching the Freebirds.
Yeah, I had them on mute. But like I was still watching, but I had them on
I was
mute,
on
and it was just
Sims.
like, girl, whatever. Like I cannot deal with that.
And then they had a concert, I think. And then they had the nerve to have the New Day and Dr.
But let me
Phil.
say this: New Day did an amazing job.
Oh yeah, New Day killed it. I loved it. New Day killed it. Who else killed it for me too? As far as like
Dudley
inductions
Boys.
go- Oh my God, their Jacqueline thing.
That was really good.
They were my favorite of the night.
They
Like,
were? Okay.
absolute favorite of the night. Like it was just funny to me. Like Jackie's the cheapest person on earth. She'll see the stop sign for a toll and be like,
and then once we passed the toll,
later, I was like, yo, Jackie's my nigga. We can go right. It was just really, and it was nice to see them like push on each other.
Yeah,
To
and
like go get your own.
that was a really cute induction
Yeah.
speech. And I also like JBL's and Ron Simmons' speech for Stan Hansen. No, not Stan Hansen. God, why am I losing his name? Godfather.
Yes.
That was cute too. Also, I'm not going to speak on Joan Lunson's speech because I know a lot of people felt a way about it because
Why?
they feel like the Warrior Award is now a publicity award where they're going to give it to people in media versus what Warrior intended it for. Like, he wanted it for backstage people that we will never get to know their names because they're working backstage. They help put together the shows versus...
I understand.
Yeah.
But I understand that
It's like a lot of people are saying that they made the Warrior Award into the Cancer Award, which is kind of sad that they're saying that, but I can see why they're saying that.
I can see why they're saying that too, but at the same time, it's like Joan Lennon did inspire a lot of women who watched the morning show. I forgot. I think she's
Good Morning
on
America?
Good Morning America,
Yeah.
I always get that confused with NBC's Wake Up New York or what the fuck it's called. No, but a lot of women are inspired by her story, and then you have to think those women have kids who watch WWE.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
it's like they're trying to connect the
Yeah, I get what they're trying to
parent-child
do.
thing, and I get the argument.
Yeah.
Like, I could see that because they gave it to Connor last year.
Which I think was really sweet.
Yeah,
though.
which I have no beef with. And then like this year, another cancer patient. I think we could all come to the conclusion though, and if not, we should come to the conclusion that cancer just fucking sucks.
Yeah.
In all honesty, and yes, Warrior Award should be to those who are backstage. Like I would love to see. Why am I forgetting her name, child? The one who did Naomi's wedding dress.
Miss Sandra?
Miss Sandra. I would love to see her get the Warrior Award for the fact that she did the Divas costume for all the years she did. And she has to, like, walk away from it. Like I said, back to people who... We saw her on Total Divas. But it's, like, still, like, we don't know her story like that. So it would be nice to see her get an award, too. Like, people who help so much tremendously backstage.
Right.
And who go above and beyond. Like, I've read a couple of... I forgot what art, but I read how she did go above and beyond for what it could to make it costumes for the Divas. So...
That's true. But, yeah, so the speeches were great. Some of them were really short and to the point.
Which I was pissed off at because Jacqueline's was short and to the point. I'm just like...
I kind of, this is the one thing. I feel like her speech was perfect, but if she would have just had a word for the current Black divas, that would have been amazing right there. Because I feel like Naomi, if anything, needs to hear it.
Yeah.
Because she's one of the most talented women on the roster, one of the most talented wrestlers in the company, period. And she just can't seem to catch a break with WWE. And then it's very obvious that with Sasha Banks in the company, they're going to have favoritism for her. Even though she's one of my favorites, too. But
she's a great wrestler.
It's just disheartening.
Ability. It's just like...
Yeah.
I feel like Cree and I touched on it so many times on Twitter, and I don't think we talked about it yet on here. It's colorism, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because Naomi's a darker shade of black, and Sasha's a light. And I'm not saying Sasha has rested on her laurels.
Right.
Sasha has worked hard, but I am saying a company tends to lean more towards Sasha because the fans like her more, and I do feel like her skin tone and her body has a lot to do with that. And I'm not saying that's every Sasha fan, but I'm saying that's a lot of them in my opinion.
And it's like, no shade to some of y'all, but a lot of Sasha fans didn't even know she was black until she said it. So it was just like, okay.
So, yeah, some fan even tried to say, like, Sasha's not really black. I'm like, if it's coming out of her mouth, if her cousin is Snoop Dogg, clearly she has a black in her somewhere. Like, anyways.
But you know what it is. At the end of the day, I think that Snoop had a great speech. Yeah. And I was kind of disappointed that a lot of wrestling fans, because you know with the wrestling fans, a lot of them like rock and alternative music, which is fine. Like, I like some of that stuff too every once in a while. But they tend to shit on hip-hop music and hip-hop fans more than anything.
Really?
They like, I remember when the 2K14 or 15 soundtrack came out, it was a lot more rap
Hip-hop,
music
yeah.
than. And I remember Seth Rollins was like, "Oh, it's too much rap on here," and a lot of his fans agreed and was like, "Oh, they need to do it like the old soundtracks." And I'm like, okay, but you do realize that a lot of the fans are also black and also people who like hip hop music.
And
Like,
you also realize that John Cena's whole gimmick was a rapper.
at one point, and he was even on the soundtrack. So it was like.
It's like.
And so when people found out that Snoop Dogg was going to be on it, they had such a bitch fit. And I'm just like, this man has been on WWE live programming for years.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, Sasha Banks is now having her match at WrestleMania. It's perfect timing to have them on the show.
Yeah.
And plus, like, he's been a fan of these wrestlers for years as well. He even mentioned the people that he loves so much. So it's just like, okay. And then when he had that speech, it was such a good speech.
Yeah,
like,
so it's like, people just want to find reasons just to hate because it's not what they envision it to be. And it's like, it's a difference between the bitching that Cree and I might do on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because, like, we may bitch about it, but we'll even say, but we're biased or we're this at the third.
Yeah.
You motherfuckers will not admit that you're biased as fuck when it comes to certain shit.
Right.
And that's just irritating because this is one thing to give your opinion on something. It's a whole nother thing to give your biased opinion on something.
Right. Because at the end of the day, like, I remember the old SmackDown versus Raw soundtracks. Those were, like, heavy with rock and alternative. And I loved them. They were great.
Yeah.
But, like, also, like, they do have hip-hop on there.
Exactly.
And it was great.
You can't have the black culture and not have black people in the midst. Like, it just doesn't work that way. Because then you're going to tread into cultural appropriation, and you don't want to have that conversation.
Because y'all love saying something is lit or something is on fleek, but God forbid we have a rapper in the Hall of Fame.
Man.
God damn.
Y'all love to say fucking gin and juice even and talk about how much you love weed and shit. Like, if we're gonna... Listen. Y'all love to try to crip walk and look like you're having a fucking seizure.
And as if New Day doesn't have a lot of rap phrases in their promos. Like, come on now. Y'all got to pick and choose a struggle.
Where do y'all think this is booty comes from? Or don't be booty?
And it's like,
I bet you can find an NWA song that goes along those lines. Like, don't
and it's
play
like,
with
I'm
me.
not even gonna lie to you. When they announced Snoop as the celebrity wing for Hall of Fame, I was kind of surprised because Lemmy from Motorhead had passed this year, and he
did.
If anything, I didn't know who Motorhead was until I heard Triple H's theme songs, because you know Triple H loved him a good Motorhead song for a pay-per-view or for anything. So I was kind of surprised they didn't induct him posthumously, but I think maybe they'll do that next year.
Probably.
But all in all, I think this Hall of Fame was great. I really enjoyed it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was sad when Sting announced his retirement.
I was pissed.
But his speech was
cried.
really, really cute.
Stop, David.
Don't do David.
Nah, David was just tight. He looked up to me like, no! And I'm like, oh, yeah.
But the little bit with Seth Rollins in their match at, I think it was Night of Champions.
Oh my God, when Seth was like, I was you for Halloween.
Yeah, when he said that, I thought that was so cute.
I can literally picture that in my head, too. So, I mean...
Because I remember when I was young and I used to watch wrestling and I used to have the video games. Sting was in the intro of it and I used to love it all the time. And then to now see him finally make it to WWE, have 2 great matches. Unfortunately, he gets injured and he has to retire.
I really don't feel like he's good. I feel like he's going to come back, though.
But you know what? Hopefully this neck injury isn't as bad as they're saying it is. Because I would love for him to come back, even if it's not like in a huge athletic match.
Yeah.
Give us something, yeah.
Even like messes up the match.
Right.
Still, I want to see Sting more.
You know, like how...
Jacqueline too.
Yeah, Jacqueline needs to come back. Because I know she has roots as a referee. So if we need someone for the women's division when they have their matches, Jacqueline would be perfect.
As much as I love Lita, I'm sick of seeing her now.
Yeah, I feel like Lita is now the spokeswoman for like even though she does have like a contract with WWE, it makes sense. But it would be nice to see her in different avenues, whether it be down at NXT helping the women or something different than what she's doing now. Because all she's doing is just talking about the same things over and over.
And I would just like to say, now that we have seen the power of social media getting Jacqueline to the Hall of Fame, I now invite you all to the next challenge. It's going to be a big-ass challenge.
China?
Yes.
You know what? I want China in, but I think she has some work to do internally before that happens.
She's working on shit. Like,
she is, but she's not working fast enough. So I'm going to need her to get it all the way together.
Listen, I just don't want them to induct her posthumously.
Yeah, I agree. I want her to be able to give her speech.
And I don't want to be 50 by the time they fucking induct her either.
Like, you're not going to make the trip.
Like, I'm not with my kid in tow. Like, back in my day, well, I'm not going to be doing all that. But that was my bitch back in my day. And
right.
Like, Mom, calm down. I'm like, no, you calm the fuck down.
But yeah, that was Hall of Fame ceremony. It was really enjoyable. Hopefully next year's class will be really good. I'm not sure how many Florida citizens that are wrestlers they're gonna induct next year. I would like to see Sable or Molly Holly as the women's wrestlers inducted.
Is The Rock in the Hall of Fame yet, or no?
No.
He'd enter.
I have to check that out. I don't think Rocky's in the Hall of Fame.
It'd be
But
interesting if they were to induct him, but then it's like he's still out getting it.
and he still can wrestle. So I mean, but then again, a lot of them can. So it's really up to them.
Weird, but The Rock is from Florida. Originally.
He's from Miami, I think.
Yeah, so.
So who knows?
But
yeah, so we can go into WrestleMania.
no, real
right?
quickly though. Next year, y'all gotta step it up with these dresses. Like, y'all gotta step it up with these dresses.
Oh, okay. So we can talk about that really, really quick because I know Paris differed in opinion from me.
Oh, definitely.
So, like, I would definitely say if I had to pick the 3 best dressed, I said Eva, JoJo, and who else was it? It was somebody else. I cannot remember which girl it was.
Was it Renee?
No. It was Cameron. There we go. Those were the 3.
It's JoJo, Cameron, and I can't finish that with the same face.
I hate you. This is why Paris is gonna be replaced next week. Anyways.
No, for real though, it would be JoJo, Cameron, and fuck. Oh my God, who was it? I can't remember the name. Paige. I like Paige dress.
Oh yeah, Paige looked cute too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paige, that's who it was. I just love JoJo's 2-piece. It was just so fucking cute.
Yeah, that was a really nice dress.
Like, if I was going to prom and was her size, that'd be my prom dress. But you know,
Wait.
they don't make cute shit for fat people anymore.
All right, guys.
And also, Naomi, girl, I love you. But
Oh,
if you
yeah.
show up in another Love and Hip Hop dress, we're not going to fight because you
Yeah.
can clearly beat my ass. But, like, Naomi.
That was club attire.
And, like, she looked great in it. Don't get me wrong. And I love the sparkle. But it's just like.
But it wasn't appropriate for the setting that she was
But
in.
you know what else it was? Like, the Usos didn't give a fuck either because they just wore, like, some.
They borrowed one of Roman's old suits and just wore that.
It's like, fuck it. Our father's not getting inducted this year. So. We don't give a fuck.
Oh
Roman
my
looked
God.
very dapper in his.
Yeah,
suit.
he actually got it together.
And his wife looked nice. I really did like her dress.
Her wig was not it though.
Why are you talking about the child's hair? You call me. This is why Cree's getting replaced. Because you have Roman's wife come find me in Queens and Superman's punch me, spear me to non-existence.
You could take her. Let me.
Bruh. Also, could y'all please stop retweeting those like petty memes?
No, you earned that. You earned that because you wanted to be petty. So there you go. Bye, Paris. All right, guys. So we're gonna go right.
I'm sorry, that was my favorite one.
Ignore her. She's on crack. Anyway.
No, I'm not on crack. I'm only crack is whack. I make too much money to spend on crack. Crack is cheap.
Okay, Whitney Houston. All right, so we're going into WrestleMania 32 now. It was in Dallas, no, I think Arlington, Texas, at the AT&T Stadium. And, of course, for those who are interested in going, next year will be in Orlando, Florida. Paris and I are going to work our ass off so we could go.
Have a job next year.
I'm going to have a sugar daddy next year. And so we're going to go.
Give up no sugar.
Because why? Anyways.
No, but honestly, if my job pays well enough, Cree and I are going together. It's a cheap ring. It's fine.
Anyways, yeah. So we can just talk about the card really briefly. I wish we would have gotten Ashley because Ashley went. And I know Ashley was probably like one of the few people that went that didn't like WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm seeing her tweets.
Yeah, I think even before WrestleMania happened, she was just not even interested in going. But
I can't lie though, I am kind of happy we didn't
go to that one
year because
a lot of people were injured, like.
And I would have punched a couple of fans in their motherfucking face too, because I don't know if you guys follow Lena, Susie, who is 2 others. Oh my God,
Sadie's and somebody else.
Thank you, because I always forget people's names. Not because I'm an asshole, just because I have a really bad memory. But their tweets, and I'm like, I'll follow WrestleMania through their eyes, and they were just like chilling in the hallway or something, and some guy was like, Roman sucks. Roman sucks.
Yeah, so a lot of Roman fans were getting like harassed.
And one of them was like, but he's still the champ.
Yeah.
Let me stop. First of all, she did not sound like a bird like I just did, okay? But like, I love the way she just went back and I'm like,
I think it was Shanti you're talking about.
Okay.
Shanti
I'm
was
sorry
like...
if I'm really not an asshole. I genuinely like everybody. I just really have a bad thing with names.
Yeah.
I did not know Cree's name until like 3 months into our friendship. Physical friendship. Like, we met in real life type friendship. Like, it's a hot fucking mess. Anyways, though.
But yeah, can I just say
this?
this before we go into like actual coverage? WBE, I feel like this year, I feel like every year WrestleMania is a learning lesson for what you should do next year. I'm being someone that didn't even go to Access into WrestleMania. There were a lot of things that fans were complaining about, and I feel like I just need to say that on their behalf because they don't have the medium to either speak out to y'all or they just don't feel like it's worth the energy. Okay, so Access.
Oh, is this about the photographers?
Thank you. Okay, so the photographers, people are paying like damn near $300 for pictures.
Damn, my nigga.
And you have these fucking like frames for your pictures that has like Access in WrestleMania, which of course is great.
It's cute.
It's cute and all that, but
if I can't see my motherfucking face and the wrestler that I spent hours waiting in line's face to see, I want to fight you.
And then on top of that, you have volunteers in the picture. I did not pay for you. What do you mean?
I did not pay for you. You are not on my taxes. You are not my child.
Exactly. It's just like, I think that's so, like, I saw that picture and I got annoyed because I can imagine working how many hours that person worked and then to pay $250 to see Charlotte and Ric Flair and then have a volunteer in my picture to then have my face blocked out by the frames. That's unfair to them. That's not fair.
It didn't happen to one person. It happened to a lot of people.
And then on top of that, going into Access, the line organizations were horrible. The fact that people wait hours in lines to meet their favorite superstars and then they don't even get to do it because they cut off the lines because it's so long, that's unfair too.
On top of that, people were abusing the disabled line, I heard.
Yeah, so...
I'm going to need y'all to check because let me know right now if I can get into the disabled line just by saying...
I'm just, like, I think it's unfair because not every disability is something that's visual.
No, it's not, but people abuse shit.
And I think there needs to be a system in place that you have disabled passes. Mm-hmm. So if you are disabled, you need to be able to know what that disability is, mm-hmm. what the symptoms are, what it is, how it affects you. Register in advance for Access so that when it comes around, you have some type of pass so that we know, okay, you're disabled, you're in this line.
Like
if you do not,
as disabled.
Yeah, pre-register. And if you don't have a disability and we see you online, you're getting put to the back of the regular lines because that's not fair.
No, it's not. There's
no reason why someone that's not disabled, unless you're a family member of the disabled mm-hmm. person, is in line and you skip all these people.
And also just one family member, not your entire fucking family, B, because that pisses me off too.
Right. Like, if you're going to have a parent or a guardian with you, just make sure it's one person because it's not fair that you have... Up to two. But if you have like 5 different people online with you, that's not fair.
No, I'm going to need your siblings and them to get into the line. Either one of y'all got to sacrifice some type of time. I don't know who's going to be.
Right.
Because I just don't think that's fair. And like, I will go back and say that my comment before, like, oh, if your disability is not visible, that was a very ignorant comment, and I do know that. Yeah. But when I get upset, I don't think about shit. But no, honestly, it should be some system, like you're saying, where you pre-register your disability, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, whether it's...
Whatever it is, just pre-register. They send you passes.
You have to be able to verify it, too.
Right, like through a doctor's note or something. Because I don't think it's fair that people who don't have disabilities are able to lie and go on these lines and skip the process. Mm-hmm. That's not fair. Like, it's not at all. And I think that what you guys need to do is adopt the Wizard World. They have these Comic-Con panels where you get to meet the superstar. I feel like there's such easier process for getting your picture. Just adopt that policy. It makes it so much easier because it's not fair people have to be online for hours to meet their favorites and then either don't do so or they have to wait longer than necessary because people are lying about disabilities. It's not fair.
So yeah, WWE. Because I'm telling you right now, if Access happens for SummerSlam this year and I actually go because the Aberpunk guys decided not to be on the same day, I'm gonna be pissed off if I see somebody like cheering and grinning and throwing down a bear in the disability line. I'm just like,
right. And then on top of that, going into WrestleMania, this was something I also want to cover. The fact of the matter was that I'm seeing some of my people on my timeline did not get to their seats until later in the show.
Yeah.
There's no reason you have the biggest attendance record, allegedly, for this WrestleMania and you don't know how to get people to their seats in time. Like, I could understand if it was during the pre-show and then you're stuck in line trying to get to your seat because ultimately the pre-show is just to warm you guys up, to get you guys in the mood, and not everybody can get there on time because they're either traveling or in line, getting merch, food, whatever it is. You're doing something that's occupying you to get ready for the main show. And I understand that. But the fact of the matter is some people didn't even get to their seats until the Divas match. And it's like, what are you doing? I hope next year at whatever stadium, whatever you call it, I think it's the Orange Bowl or something like that.
Yeah.
Please make sure that you have the proper precautions and organization and call, because I do not want to be waiting online and then it's the fucking main event and I'm not in my seat.
I'm telling you right now, the way my anger is set up, you do not want a mad black person like me all up in your grill because I paid this amount of money for my ticket and you telling me I'm not there. What? No, hell motherfucker no.
It's just certain things you guys need to take into account.
But I don't know if that was WWE or the security at the...
Whoever is listening.
Listen, if you can host the Super Bowl, you can host fucking WrestleMania.
The fact, because they love to do this. They love to have these big attendance records, but you don't know how to take proper things into precautions.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason why you have allegedly over 90,000 people there, and you don't know how to get them to their seats in a timely fashion.
And there were some people outside when the Divas match was going on, too.
And it's like, I literally saw the pictures of people in line, and it was like you were stuck in traffic in an LA highway. That's how bad it was.
And I've been to LA, and their traffic ain't nice, so
it's like, get it together.
Yeah, because even come SummerSlam, if Cree and I are fortunate enough to actually make it this year,
Yeah.
no, hell motherfucking no, I'm not, no, just no. And I'm the person to get to an event like 2 hours before it starts because of shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But if I do it even before and I'm fighting somebody, Vince come outside. Like, we have to fight at this point.
And then on top of that, like, I just want to let any fans know, like, you should be able to go to WrestleMania, cheer, boo, whatever you need to do. Just don't throw shit on people.
That should be common knowledge, but you know.
No, it's not, because apparently someone got bear thrown on them for who they support. And it's just, I'm just tired. Like, I'm not even a violent person, but if you touch me,
we fighting.
It's a problem.
It's a problem. If you touch Cree, it's a problem.
If you touch Paris, it's a problem.
It's a problem.
Because,
fighting.
Bitch, I don't fight fair. I'll jump in.
Nigga, I wear rings. I wear rings. Like, I definitely don't fight fair. I went to one of the toughest high schools in Queens. I will fuck
It's annoying to me because it's just like we're all able to come together as a fandom and enjoy this whole process of WrestleMania. And the fact that people couldn't even do that because they're worried about people trying to come up on them because they support someone that you don't like. No, let's not do that.
I'm telling you right now, I don't like Charlotte, but I will never throw a drink or anything. Unless they were my friend. They were my friend, I might throw popcorn. I'm not gonna throw a drink on you. Like, that's just ridiculous. But, like, popcorn playfully, because there's people in the movie theaters asses, which you'll find out at Captain America.
Girl.
Because I'm the only Team Iron Man. Anyway, I digress. Sorry.
Anyways.
I'm not going to be that type of person to throw anything on somebody who's not my friend or whatever just because you support a different character. Like, we could have an interaction face-to-face, verbal.
Right.
As long as it don't get nasty, you know, but...
Like, it could be playful. It could be, like, because, you know, like, sometimes where you're like, Team Cap, Team Iron Man. Like, I will just mess with Paris and be like, oh, Team Cap.
Exactly. But
like,
we're not going to fight each other physically. I'm not going to throw a drink on Cree unless she's on fire. Like, come on. Like, I was just at a college football game in Madison Square Garden. It was Villanova versus some team in Jersey.
Syracuse?
No, not Syracuse. That's upstate New York, baby.
Oh. Look at how I don't even travel. Look at that.
No, it's cool. It was some team in Jersey that I wanted to go through. It's fucking funny. Anyway, Xavier Hall. Thank you. And I was going for Xavier Hall, the other half was going for Villanova. And he was like, X gonna give it to you, but not tonight. And I was like, that ribbon, that was perfectly fine.
And it's funny. Like,
it's funny. Be nice. He didn't say, oh, you black bitch, little fucking nigger. Like, because he was white. And if I went there, we would have fought. But I always want to fight somebody. And I'm the nicest person you'll meet. And I just always want to fight because I don't play that. Listen, at the end of the day, it's just about being respectful to one another. It's not that fucking hard.
Right, yeah.
Like, if I can do it as an angry-ass New Yorker, you can do it.
Right.
Not that hard,
So that's just a word for like WrestleMania. Next year, hopefully WWE takes everything we said into consideration. And of course, if you were at WrestleMania in Access and you felt complaints, don't be afraid to email WWE about it. They have to take your stuff into consideration.
Yeah.
They can't just see these complaints and do nothing about it. So
I say continuously email them. Have your peoples email them.
Right.
Write letters and especially kind of threaten them like, you know what? I'm gonna not threaten like I'm gonna bomb the fucking place.
I'm gonna unsubscribe. I'm not gonna buy merch. I'm not gonna come to your.
I'm gonna stop supporting this, that, and third. Even though do that.
Yeah.
Hey, you might get something out of it.
And so that's optional. Like I feel like if you don't like something in wrestling, take your money elsewhere.
Yeah.
It speaks volumes.
Yeah, that goes to all you Roman fans. If you don't like Roman, don't buy his merch. Maybe he won't be sold out every show. I'm just saying.
All right. So after that long, drawn-out thing, we're going to go into WrestleMania. So if you had to rate the show, what would you say?
Out of a 5 or a 10?
Any number. Anything's good for you.
Out of a 10, I would give WrestleMania a solid 7.99.
I'd say probably 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, because it wasn't bad, but it wasn't as good as it could. After last year WrestleMania, here's a problem. It's like, I miss Seth, because he kind of brought that extra, no, the fuck you didn't.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm scared.
There wasn't a swerve at the end of the wrestle. Like, even though we wanted Roman to win, the fact that Seth picked up the win, like as much as I hate the fact that Roman got cashed in on, Brock Lesnar did not walk out champ last year.
Yeah, which he's happy about.
So it's just like, there was something that, even though you didn't get the results you wanted, there was something just as good.
And the match that I was looking forward to the most, believe it or not, was not Roman
and Triple
H's match. That was the second one I was looking forward to. Fucking Dean's match, yo.
Oh, Dean. Yeah, that was the worst match on the card.
Because it was like street match, and you had my attention right then and there.
And
I'm thinking of all the times I played street matches on my PlayStation and how he's able to go out the building and fight people. And then you dare have these old superstars give Dean all these tools.
That he did not fucking use.
I know Dean was going to use the chainsaw. Like, y'all couldn't nobody. I wasn't even like, okay. But Mick Foley's bad. Like, you could have finagled that. And I'm just like, how, like, it was the worst match of the night. It was the most disappointing match of the night.
And it was the shortest, I think.
Was it?
I think it was.
Like, I just like, damn, like, y'all could have kept this, or y'all could have redid this, or
and,
something.
like, there's speculation that Lesnar, like, kind of denied certain things. Like, Dean had certain ideas for the match, and Lesnar was kind of like, nah, we're not going to do that. Which wouldn't surprise me, because Lesnar seems like the type that will put in the least amount of effort in his matches. And I feel bad for Dean, because it's like, Dean was getting booked very well throughout the whole feud. He had these great promos. A lot of people were interested.
Super into it.
And then for you to have this match that people were kind of, like, anticipating, and then you didn't even win on top of the fact that the match was lackluster. That's not fair to Dean also. Like, I love every Shield member. Even though Dean is not my favorite, I still like him. And I still feel like, okay, I have hope that one day he'll be the World Heavyweight Championship champion. But it's just like, there's no reason why right now he should be the one of the least booked properly superstars.
And it wasn't a good match. It really, like, if you guys were to redo this for SummerSlam, make it an actual street match. Like, actually have him out in the streets. Like, I don't know what avenue was by Barclays.
Probably Atlantic.
Okay, Atlantic Avenue. I don't know how to do it. Just do it and make it a
If
street
they
match.
fight in Target, I'll get my life. But
oh my God, could you imagine like going up the escalators just like,
yeah.
That'd be so much
But
fun.
you know what? Honestly and truly, I knew that with the gimmick match, like a street fight, I knew it wasn't going to be like...
No, I knew it was... I'm not under any disillusion. I was going to be like how it was in the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
I really don't think
And
they were
I
going to go
think that's
out the
why
building.
a lot of people were disappointed.
Well, no, you have to know, like, okay, it's not going to be an Attitude Era street fight, but I was interested to see how the PG Era street fight was going to be, and I really wanted him to utilize some of those weapons.
And unfortunately, that match just did not deliver. And you know what's funny about this? We're not going to see Lesnar until SummerSlam again anyway. So hopefully now Dean can get some proper booking.
I mean, I won't mind seeing Lesnar until next year, to be honest with you.
Right, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Unfortunately, that's just the cards that were dealt to Dean. I'm just praying that he gets, like, some type of material now.
Or I want him and Roman to face each other.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet.
But I feel like that won't be until towards the end of the year again, going into WrestleMania.
I'd cry, but you know.
But one of the best matches on the card was obviously the women's championship match.
Yeah.
So they did get rid of the Divas title. And I'm not gonna lie. The first time I saw the title, I was so angry. I thought it was so ugly. I could not.
It was ugly too.
But actually,
I warmed up to it.
Yeah.
Now,
So next night on Raw, I was looking and I'm like, you know what? It's not that ugly.
It's kind of cute. It's kind of fly.
So I apologize to anybody on my timeline that was trying to tell me, oh, it's not that bad, and I was just like, girl, get out my face. But
listen, it's like we're coming from a belt that was like pink and bedazzled and looked like something that a kid can do. Yeah. To like an actual professional title.
But you know what? I love the NXT Women's Championship. Mm-hmm. I think that's the best looking female belt they've ever had. But then again, you know what? NXT is NXT, and then the main roster is the main roster. So I want to say congrats to Charlotte for retaining. I think that she really did a great job. I know Paris does not like her like that. But I think
like her character.
Her character, but
people be quick to be like, but Charlotte's such an outstanding human being. I'm like, okay, I don't like her character.
But like, I think she really put on a show.
She did. I like all their entrance. I
hated Sasha's entrance only because that girl could not sing.
Okay, it's not Sasha's fault the girl couldn't sing though. It's the girl's fault. Like,
it might as well be because who signed that girl's check to come out and sing? Like, that was horrible.
But Snoop and her coming out, I like their entrance because it was very like she was paying homage to Eddie Guerrero.
If she would have came out with a lowrider though, that would have been perfect.
Oh, it would have been awesome.
Because it would have been her and Snoop in the car, and Snoop would have been rapping. Yeah. No singing. We could have just had a background track. But we could have had a background track and then had him rapping in the car with her and they're driving down and the car's bouncing up and down. That would have been perfect.
Yeah, see, they need to hire us, but they're trying to hand up these checks. And then, of course, Charlotte coming out in a piece of her father's robe.
That robe was beautiful. Yeah, whoever made that was gorgeous.
I hate that Becky just had, her regular entrance.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was fair.
I wish she would have had something extra. But, of course, the steam looked great.
Yeah.
It looked great.
I'm a Becky stan.
Yeah, I love Becky. And I really hope her eye gets better because her eye was horrible after that match.
I was like, so it's clear all three of these women put in a lot of work in these matches. And it's a lot of risk involved.
And it's safe to say the women stole the show that night.
Yeah, they definitely did. I thought it was a great match. It had good energy.
And I loved at the end of the match when Charlotte won and she held the title, the fireworks went off.
Yeah.
Because the girls don't get stuff like that.
No, and I was like, oh, we get fireworks now? Oh, shit.
I think as long as they start pushing for equality with the women's matches and the men and all these stipulations, I think we're going to be in a great place. Especially because this, I was looking at the roster on Raw. This is probably the best roster we've had in years. In terms of people with personality, workmanship.
Yeah.
Everything. So kudos to the girls down at WWE and even the ones in NXT because when they come up, the roster's gonna get even stronger.
Yeah, Bayley's coming up soon.
Yeah,
she just lost her champion.
So, of course, the other Divas match, Team Total Divas versus Bad and Blonde.
I was cooking, but I saw the replay. Yeah.
That was a really fun match. I'm not gonna lie, I was disappointed that Naomi had to be the one to take the lose.
As usual.
But it was a great match, and kudos to Brie Bella. She's now retired. Of course, we won't see that until the next season of Total Divas or whatever they call it.
I was surprised they did not roll out the red carpet for her retirement.
Right.
I was because Lord knows they do it for Daniel Bryan.
And I have to say, every woman on the match, they looked strong in their own attributes. Even Eva and Lana, this being her debut match. Yeah. She looked
Lana's
really good.
Gear was good too.
Whose?
Lana's.
Oh, Lana, yeah.
Yeah, her gear was cool.
I
have to give props to Eva where props are due.
Yeah, she hit that slice red, and it looked really good.
She did her thing in the match. She's still not my fave.
She's not, but she's growing, and I think I appreciate that.
I mean, I do still feel like... Cree knows when I do like the little thing up in the air, I'm about to shade somebody.
She's looking for the shade because it's coming.
I do feel like she's still more eye candy for certain...
and that's the thing, I will never...
And that comes with the tax of being that damn gorgeous.
Right.
It's like, I have to give her props. As much as I don't like her character, and maybe even her as a person, the person that she portrays in Total Divas, it's like, at the end of the day... She does try.
She tries. And I can give her that. And the fact that she even went back to go train is admirable. Because she and Cameron went back when people didn't think they would.
Now, let's back up a little bit. She had the red carpet laid out for her to go back. Whereas Cameron made the decision herself. WWE was like, well, we think it'd be good for your character. Listen, end of the day, she did go back. We can argue about this like for another 20 minutes, and I don't want to do that to you guys because you already heard this all last year.
Yeah.
When this storyline came out, and how Cree was all like, "Yeah, I'm Team Eva," and I'm like, "Oh, we ain't friends."
Well, I'm not, like, here's the thing, because I like Eva, but I'm also, at the same time, I feel like I'm more anti-WB creative more than anything.
You super are, and I am too. And, like, Cree will fault creative more than she'll fault any wrestler, and that's, like, a really good quality about her. Me, it's like,
she's like, I'm the opposite.
I'm going after the wrestler, and then I'm like, oh, wait, fuck, the wrestlers don't get to make their own choices like that.
But you bring it back, so that's admirable.
Yeah, then I bring it back, and I'm like, oh, my fault for calling you that. Why are you looking at the window? No, but in all seriousness, it was a great match. Everybody did hold their own. I do see Eva getting better because I did see a couple of her matches in NXT before, so I'm like, okay.
She's growing. I mean, I would like for her, if it was possible, I would like for them to take her off TV again and give her another couple of months of training.
Yeah.
And like,
but they won't because she's so beautiful and everything, and she's like that model and kind of like that girl that
they use her for promo and stuff like that.
Yeah, they use her for Fastlane. I was like, the fuck is she in Fastlane promo for?
Yeah, a lot of people, but she looked great and she did her job. So
it's like, what I am really interested in seeing is the Charlotte versus Natty match,
and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah. Back to WrestleMania though.
Kalisto versus Ryback was the pre-show, and that was a good match.
That was. I have a soft spot for Ryback, so you know anything he does, it's just like
Ryback blocked me, so it's fuck Ryback forever. Let me stop.
I mentioned his bald head, and that's why.
No, it's because he had the Intercontinental Championship, and he was like, "It's not cursed."
Yeah,
and I said it was, and then he blocked me. So
see what you do, right, baby, blocked you.
But that was a great match. Also, the Usos versus the Dudleys. It was super quick, but it was good. A lot of people weren't happy with the result, but it is what it is.
Y'all be alright. Because the Usos threw the Dudleys through the table, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so y'all be alright.
And going into the main card, I believe the ladder match started off the show. Zack Ryder actually won the championship.
I was so shocked and then so happy.
Yeah.
It was like, isn't it like Zack rested on his laurels throughout the entire match?
It's just he never got the opportunity to really show himself. He really
did shine throughout that match now that I look at it again. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yo, he did deserve that moment. And like to see his father, at first I was just a crazy fan, but that is his father.
That's his dad.
And he's like, oh, this is really nice. Oh, so sweet. So that was a good match for them to fuck it up. Not even 24 hours later.
Yeah. He didn't deserve that. But hopefully that means something greater for him going on.
And then I think one of my favorite entrances of the night was actually the New Days.
Oh yeah, that was really creative.
Much as I hate Dragon Ball Z with a fucking passion.
You're the first person I've ever heard say they didn't like Dragon Ball Z.
Child, listen. Elementary school?
Mm-hmm.
All them West Indian boys used to watch is Dragon Ball Z after school. And I used to have after school because my mother worked in the city.
Yeah.
So, and I used to be there from like 9 a.m. to like 4 or 5 p.m. Watching Dragon Ball Z. And then I got home, my uncle watched Dragon Ball Z too. And then high school, I had boyfriends. I'm over Dragon Ball Z. Like, Dragon Ball Z can blow the grip at this point.
Oh, God.
Okay? But it was super creative, and it was a nice little shock. It wasn't overly done. I thought they were going to come out and start talking Super Saiyan. I'm like, no, please don't do that.
And then they had the whole match with League of Nations, which they lost, but it was a good match. And then we even had a little bit of Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels. I lost my mind.
Yeah, I love you hate Mick Foley.
I hate Mick Foley on Twitter.
Yeah.
But him as a legend, he's fine.
Yeah, no, but listen, I was sitting next to Cree when Shawn Michaels, she grabbed me, she was like, and I was like, yo, I know everybody's losing their fucking mind right now because of Heartbreak Kid, and he still looks good. It's not fair.
The bitches love Shawn, and Shawn loves the bitches. Anyways.
And
he looked really good. Like, I really feel like he could do another match. Yeah. Even though he says he probably will never step in the ring again, I would die if him and Seth Rollins had an Iron Man match. Yes. That would be so perfect.
But no, everybody delivering their finishers, sweet chin music. Mick Foley says rock'em sock'em shit. And of course, Steve Austin's fucking
stunner, yeah.
Oh my god, it was perfect.
When he did it to Xavier, I knew it was coming. It was hilarious.
Because Xavier was trying to like, Xavier, no, it happened. Like, that's exactly how it went. Like Steve was he was clapping. I was like, is he gonna twerk? Please don't twerk. Please don't twerk, Stone. And he did it.
He did it, yeah.
Which was great. And then before all of that though, poor Baron. What's his name? King Barrett.
Oh, Way Barrett, yeah.
Oh, he got the worst of everything. I
Yeah.
felt so bad for him.
And you know what's funny? I think Rusev actually got hit in the face for real during that segment.
Probably.
Poor Rusev. Anyways, going on to the next thing, the Battle Royale, the Andre the Giant Memorial.
Which I wasn't super into at first.
Yeah, because I kind of figured someone like I thought John Cena was going to come out and win it.
So.
But Shaq, can we just talk about Shaq for a second? Shaq came out to Panda by designer, not Future, designer. And that was probably, somebody was like he came out like a real cool link to that song.
Oh my god, yeah.
And so I think he and Big Show were kind of joking around, talking about they're going to have a match at WrestleMania 33 next year. You could keep that. But
it's because y'all go big and slow, like.
Yeah. But congrats to Baron Corbin. He had his main roster debut.
Yes, look like he'll fuck up your credit and you don't care because that's zaddy.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the match, and it was kind of surprising because down in NXT, Baron Corbin isn't really a fan favorite. Yeah. He kind of gets the same abuse that Roman does. Yeah. But when he won, they kind of cheered him, and they were actually happy for him, so that was good. What other match happened that before the main event? I'm trying to think.
We said the Divas, ladder, the tag team, Royale.
I feel like we're missing something. But if we are,
no, but there was like a long intermission because the Rock hit
the Rock's match,
just like we're missing something.
That. Oh my God. Okay, so yes,
that 5-second ass match.
So Rocky came out to basically announce the attendance record.
First of all, no, we need to talk about Rock's entrance. It was not that exciting. The whole
when he flamed, yeah, that was.
Because I was like, first of all, China did first. Just to let you know. Second of all, the whole putting fire to your name, okay, that's cute, but you could do better.
He thought it was the MTV Movie Awards. I'm really concerned. Anyways, so he comes out to talk about the attendance record, and then Bray Wyatt actually comes out. And you know the same thing Bray Wyatt talks about every week, how he's going to be here because he wants to take you out and yada yada. And then Rock kind of goes back and forth with them on the mic, and then they have a match.
You, you smell like marijuana and Hot Pockets.
Rocky is the worst.
He's so rude. Damn some melons.
But I guess during that time, Bray Wyatt was injured, so he didn't have the match. So it was Eric Rowan, I think. And that was like a 5-second match where Rocky won. And that was like
when Rock took off his sweatpants and revealed the fact that he was wearing his shits, he was down with the shits. I was like, oh, this match. And I wanted it to be longer, and it was literally 5 seconds. Like, okay, y'all could have kept this. And I think I tweeted to WWE and Vince McMahon, stop rewriting the ending. Let it go. You gave me this bullshit ass match. It was cool for what it was, though.
And then towards the end,
John Cena
came out to help The Rock. And for a second, I felt like a heel turn was coming. I thought he was going to AA The Rock. Yeah. And then kind of have a next match set up for next year. Yeah. Thank God they're not doing that.
But what I did is Cena came out and was like, they got to make up their minds.
Oh, yeah, for Hall of Fame.
Half the crowd, that was Hall of Fame?
Yeah, that was Hall of Fame.
Half the crowd was cheering him. The other half was booing him. He's like, all right, I got to make up your mind one day. I'm going to still be here.
Right.
Getting y'all money, so you know.
Which is true, but I really did miss John. John's presence, Seth Rollins' presence. Yeah. All these people that were gone for this time, their presence was really, truly missed. Yeah. Especially when this is the biggest show for them, especially the biggest WrestleMania for all time. I missed everybody that was gone. Even the ones I ain't really fuck with. What was that?
That was the computer.
Oh. That scared the absolute crap out of me.
I don't mean to. I was like,
sorry about that, guys.
That's not us, the computer that we were on.
So
we have no control over.
Going into the main event.
Oh man, Triple H's entrance was
Can we talk about that alone? The fact that Stephanie looked like she was on a world tour with that whole monologue and the outfit. She looked amazing, first of all.
Queen Steph always kills it.
Yeah.
It never surprises me. I never expect anything less for her than to kill it. Because, first of all, it looked like the trailer to a horror movie.
Yeah, it did.
And then Stephanie with the mask and then just her mean bitch face.
And I think of that tweet when someone says,
when women guys tell you to smile.
Yes. Oh, my God.
I was like, oh, God, this is beautiful. She killed it, though.
She's killed it.
Bow down to your king. It's like her enunciation of such.
She's a really good speaker.
It's like, girl, yes.
So then Triple H comes out and he looks like a fucking orange, tanned and all of that, which is like.
Hard. wasn't always hard.
And I'm not even gonna lie, when Roman had his entrance, of course Roman always looks amazing. His face is laid by God, but I wish his entrance was a little bit more.
Yeah, me too.
I wish it would have been like
we're missing the cage match.
Oh, bitch. Wait, let's just cover the main event first. Okay. Because I'm like, we are missing something.
You know why we're missing it? Because it was kind of amazing, but kind of disappointing at the same time.
Like the main event. But anyways, I love both Triple H and Roman Reigns, but I feel like that match should not have main evented at all.
Really?
It was, like, looking back, it was very slow. And I feel like Triple H, while he is probably one of the best wrestlers to ever do it, he is really getting tired now. And I feel like Roman had to carry the match a little bit more than he needed to, especially when he's the one that's being put over by Triple H.
Now that you said that, I kind of do wish that the main event was Taker versus Shane.
Yeah.
And, because even though it was going to be a major title change, a major title change, Taker and Shane's was, like, this, I know you guys can't see, it was, like, a bit more better than...
But unfortunately, I think because of the result of that match was the reason why it was not the main event.
If WWE had fucked up and have Taker lose to Brock, it would have been cool. But if Taker had lost to Shane, I would be fine with that 21-1.
Well, you know what? It still wouldn't even make sense because Brock Lesnar beating Undertaker is more realistic than Shane McMahon beating Undertaker, even in a cage match. It's just because Brock Lesnar is a White Walker. Like, he literally is like a mythical creature. He's not real.
I gotta go. I'll see you later.
But the main event, it was very slow. And I feel like it only picked up after Roman speared Stephanie.
Oh my gosh, that was perfect.
And Stephanie looked like she enjoyed it more than anything.
Listen, the memes I came up with
after
that. Oh my God.
And I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I can assume that in SummerSlam, Triple H might come back for a rematch. And if I feel like that's going to happen, I feel like there needs to be a stipulation on the match.
Yeah.
Because I could have swore during WrestleMania week they were saying it was going to be no DQ, but it ended up being a regular match anyways. So I feel like at SummerSlam there needs to be some stipulation. There needs to be something to waken up the crowd, something that gets Triple H and Roman to do something out of the ordinary, because this was just a regular-ass match we could have had on Raw, to be honest with you.
But I like I said, I like the fact that he speared the fuck out of Stephanie.
That was more a really intense hug more than a spear. Because I was watching it. It didn't look like he, like, even though he's a big guy, it didn't look like he came for her that hard. It just looked like it was a really intense hug.
It's probably well rehearsed.
Yeah.
But the hug's like, you're not going to hurt your woman boss.
Right. Even though she's tough as fuck, she probably could have took it.
She probably could have taken it, but still, it's like, I feel like Roman's one of those old school guys who's like, I'm not going to hit a woman.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, he wanted to make sure he wasn't going to hurt her in any way, shape, or form.
But going into the cage match, you can kick that off.
So the cage match was very interesting, to say the least. I still vibe for the days where Undertaker could come out on his motorcycles and rolling. I know it will never happen, but I still want it. Shane McMahon's money, his fucking shuffle, and he had his kids. I just like...
They're very offbeat children.
I was gonna say, listen, y'all are part of the Rhythmless Nation, but it's okay. Like,
it's alright.
The one thing that annoyed me that wasn't a part of the match, Maria Menounos, as beautiful as she is, as much as I like her
voice does too much.
Shit! You think that's her man's? Like,
but you know what?
You would think that's me cheering for Roman and we were married in a
like,
perfect
remember
world.
that Raw when Roman was beating up Triple H? There were these two girls in the audience that were going crazy.
Oh, yeah, that would have been
And people were so pissed at them, but they were having fun. That's essentially, I can't be mad at Maria because she's having fun, but like...
No, but she literally was doing that, like, from the beginning of the match to, like, now.
I see what you're saying.
And I'm like, girl, how is your voice not gone?
I know people lost their voice over WrestleMania weekend.
Listen, if I'm ringside and Roman is fighting, yes.
You better have all the Ricola in the world.
Listen, go to school or work. And I said, hi. What happened? Roman. My fault, Leah.
But that cage match was okay.
It was good for what it was, but Shane did that 20-foot
That's probably going to be one of the most iconic moments in the Hell in a Cell history.
Yeah, and that scared the fuck out of me when he did that.
And I can't believe he did that in front of his kids.
Yeah, no, that freaks me. We were freaked out. We were like, is he alive? Because it gets to that point where you're just like, are you breathing? Because I know I wouldn't be breathing at the end of that shit.
And it's like, even Taker looked at him like, how are you still alive?
Yeah, and Taker like patted his head.
Yeah, like, that will be all, Shane. That will be all.
We're going to just end the shit right now. No, that match was better than the main event, I can say. And it was one of the highlights of Mania. Yeah. And like they replayed that 20-foot drop like how many fucking times?
And like, I was like, it got like that pit in your stomach when you like take like a really deep drop in a roller coaster. That's what I felt.
Like the same way when Mick Foley did Hell in a Cell once, and like they tossed him from the top of the
cage
onto the nails. I had that same feeling. Just with less. But see, that shit is possible. You just gotta. It's how you do it. Yeah. You don't necessarily need the blood. I like the blood, but I like. But
kudos to Shane. Kudos to the Undertaker.
And Shane came out the next day at Raw and was GM. So.
Yeah, which was like, I have to say this because I was confused as well, because the whole point of the match was so he can get control of Raw and be GM.
But you know what? I'll answer that. I'll let you finish. Go ahead. Sorry.
But it's like, it's kind of confusing to me that you still got control of Raw a little bit, because he did it now for 2 weeks straight now. And like Undertaker's whole point, like the whole stipulation for Undertaker to never wrestle again, I felt like that was just something to throw it in. But ultimately, I didn't think Shane was ever going to beat Undertaker. I don't think that was ever going to be the case. So it's kind of like weird now that he's running Raw. Even though I'm not complaining, it's kind of like, what was the purpose of that whole stipulation?
I feel like the reason why they had Shane do it anyway is because fans like us would have been like, we wanted Shane to run it because we want a different thing, and they know that they would have lost a lot of viewership, I feel, after Mania if Shane wasn't somehow involved. Like, without us even know, like, okay, we'd be pissed off if y'all don't involve Shane regardless if it's win or loss. Yeah. They're like, you know, we're just going to take this head on, and we're going to have Shane run this shit for 2 nights. Maybe he'll do it 3 nights in a row. And we're just going to have him do it. And because, you know, it's like a way to keep your fans happy, even though you gave a bullshit-ass stipulation at the beginning.
All right, so that was our WrestleMania recap, and we'll be right back to quickly recap Raw. All right, guys, we're done mindlessly chatting. We're going to talk about Raw really, really quick. So first...
Ooh, baby, I like it.
Shut up. All right, so Shane McMahon opens Raw, and he kind of implements that there's going to be some changes now that he's running Raw for a little bit until Vince McMahon, I guess, sees that he's no longer fit to do so.
Which hopefully won't be ever.
Right. So first thing first, he announces this tag team tournament where it's these tag team matches which will lead to the number 1 contender for the League of Nations, New Day, for, I guess, Payback. So now Kevin Owens interrupts Shane McMahon, and he talks about how he should be getting a rematch for the Intercontinental title because technically he never got one, and Zack Ryder lost to The Miz last week, so therefore someone needs to be a number 1 contender to face The Miz for the title. So then Shane says, you know what, we do have one, but you know what, you're going to get to face him this year. So it's Cesaro. He faces Cesaro, and Cesaro wins. First of all, I love Cesaro's new gimmick as like half 007, half swim guard.
It fits him really good. No, it fits him really, really good.
And he looks great. I'm glad that he's back healthy because I missed him.
We know.
If you saw my timeline when he came back, I was acting a fucking fool. But I love Cesaro.
Saw my snap when he came back. Lord. Okay, anyway, though.
All right. So then after the match with Cesaro, Kevin Owens is actually kicked out of the building because of what happened to Sami Zayn last week where he actually attacked him.
Yep. So you think it's going to happen again this week, which of course it probably was.
It probably would have. And so Kevin got kicked out, which I kind of love this whole face authority figure. Yeah. Because we're so used to like Triple H and Stephanie letting shit like that happen and like not really doing anything about it. So that's good. Oh, I do want to say to those listening, I did not write notes as I was watching Raw. I was actually trying to look at WWE's website. And let me just say this. I do not like the new WWE.com. The functionality of it is just not as great as it used to be. It looks amazing. I won't front. It looks great. But, like, I'm looking for the results of Raw like they always do. And I'm seeing this highlight thing that I'm not really into. But whoever makes the websites, I think Paris told me earlier.
as long as you had to work there. So she's
right.
like,
So I'm trying to keep it cute for her. Just please fix like
the
make
functionality.
make it
And
easier to
I'm
navigate
gonna
through.
visit the place that's gonna do it, that works on the website.
Yeah.
So I can bring this up. And
Yeah.
like, and I'll seem really smart. So yes, here for me sounding smart in front of my class. Yes. Anyway.
So next thing we got the Lucha Dragons versus the Dudleys.
Which is always a good show, I feel. Like, Lucha Dragons always put us on a great show.
Yeah, and that match was great, but it was very short, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And the Dudleys picked up the win, so they will advance in the tag team tournament. And then we get our newest arrivals from NXT, Enzo and Big Cass. And they kind of cut a promo on the Dudley boys, which I have to say Enzo is one of the best speakers NXT and WWE has ever had. I really do enjoy him. And I think Paris wants to say something.
I'm looking at Cree, she lost her goddamn mind.
You don't like him?
No, I don't like. No.
You don't?
I don't like their gimmick. I don't like them. They're annoying. ANNOWING, annoying.
Oh Lord!
Like, I don't like
You're
them.
probably the only person I know that does not like them.
All my time, like, no. There's one more person who agrees with me.
Who?
I forgot her name, but when I find it, I'm gonna retweet it. Cause listen, y'all can have them. Y'all can have them. SAWFT, so shut the fuck up. Remind me of people I went to fucking college with. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh God.
Not this college. The college I went to before this college, because they're always like, oh, Paris, you need to hear your podcast. No, you don't. No, you don't need to hear my podcast.
Oh God.
But no, I don't see the appeal. They're annoying.
You know what I will say? Because they're not like other tag teams where there's this over-present gimmick. Like, they're just kind of like guys from New York that talk
Their
really well.
gimmick isn't over-present.
At least not like the
They're
Ascension.
Like
the Ascension.
John Travolta's fucking accent in Saturday Night Fever.
I mean, I guess you can, like, I agree with what you mean.
I don't like them.
I like them.
No,
I don't think they're that strong of a tag team wrestling duo. Like, they're great, they're adequate, but they're not, like, amazing.
And it's like, y'all like them more than you like Roman. Y'all got to go. You're out of order. You're out of order.
Respect the order.
Respect the order. You're not my daughter. No, but seriously, please. I just don't like them. DAWTA, daughter.
Oh, God, bye. So next we have this segment because Dr. Phil was actually the guest star of Raw, and he had this segment with Charlotte and Rick. It was really uncomfortable and weird for me watching it.
It was funny to me.
My dad was watching with me. He was like, yo, they need to put that man through a table. He's so annoying.
Your father's a G.
My father's horrible. Don't give him credit for anything.
Don't give your same with my dad. Don't think he's funny when you come over. No.
Oh God.
But anyway, no. Honestly,
Sorry.
Dr. Phil realized like Charlotte and Ric Flair's obvious cheating ways.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, but like you're not necessarily need to be on this show.
Yeah. So we could go quickly into Charlotte versus Natty for the championship. That was a really, really good match.
Yeah, it was. And
I love seeing Charlotte and Natty in the ring together.
And Natty won and didn't get the champion.
And unfortunately, this is one thing I will comment. I hate whenever they're in the ring together and they make it a thing between the Flairs and the Hearts. Yeah. I feel like at the end of the day, if Natty wants to go on the mic and say, I'm a better wrestler than you, I can out-wrestle any person in this building, and I want that championship, I feel like they should just make it about that. Stop making it a family thing. Like, ultimately, yes.
But they're not, because you know what it is? They're both of them for two powerful WWE families. They're not going to ever stop it.
I know, and that's unfortunately the case with it. But Rick did get involved, like Paris said, always. And Natty won via disqualification. So, of course, there will be another match. Obviously, at Payback, I think she'll
see Natty as the champ.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I think she's going to help Charlotte produce some great matches. I know.
Anyway, next match.
And I think it's also a great opportunity to get Natty out there because for months on Total Divas, we've seen her sitting in the back being sad because she wasn't wrestling. And now she's finally getting the opportunity to show people I'm still good at what I do. So congrats to Natty because you know how many times we've been sitting back like, where's Natty going to come out?
Dead ass. That's the entire Divas resolution.
Right. It's kind of like, it's crazy how it took them almost a year to get it together.
To realize, oh, wait, Natty.
Yeah. And then... Well, I'm glad it's better late than never at this point, to be honest with you.
I guess.
So next we got the Usos versus the Social Outcasts.
Which I was super, like, on edge because, like, I want the Usos to win. But I know that WWE fans don't like the Usos as much as they used to anymore. And that's because they have the New Day. And they can't keep two different, like...
And you know what another thing is with the Usos? I feel like they feel like they're very corny. because here's the thing, Usos appeals to the kids, and I feel like if you appeal to the children, they don't like you. They feel like you need to be edgy and you need to be this.
Like they're
and
white
that.
fans, WWE fans, white ones. They can't have two different beats in their head at the same time. Like they can't have the New Day, J-Rock, and then the Usos chants. Like,
ooh.
Yeah, they can't do it. They're part of Rhythmless Nation. And yes, I am very prejudiced right now because black people can't be racist. What's good?
Oh, God. But, of course, Usos made short work of the social outcasts. And out of the midst of anything, like, these two men actually attacked the Usos. And at first, I didn't know who they were, but it turns out they're actually Carl Anderson and Luke Gallo.
And they can catch these hands.
And they're from the Bullet Club.
And they can catch these hands.
And I think it's, even though I don't really know too much about them, I think it's exciting for the tag team division that it's getting that spice that we really deserve, because
I do want the Usos to turn heel, so hopefully.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people want the Usos to be heel too because they feel like it's dry now with their gimmick. So I don't know, because ever since the Usos came back, when Jay came back from injury, people got annoyed because they felt like, oh, the Usos are going to be tag team champs again, but New Day has been champs ever since then. So it's like,
I think the Usos are trying to add more, like, stuff to it. They wear, like, grills when they wrestle now.
Mm-hmm.
But, like,
oh, God, they're so ratchet.
No, I like grills. I like the bottom grills.
No, I'm not saying it's bad, but, like, they do the dabbing and everything. They're so ratchet.
I wanted them so bad to go back to Hulk. I wanted them so bad to show the Usos dabbing with Jacqueline.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been so cool. But anyway, I digress.
So next, we have a promo by Roman Reigns, and he actually goes out to face the crowd, and he has this new mantra about his personality. I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm the guy. So I love that. They need to put that on a shirt. I hate this girl. We could never get through we could never get through anything about Roman Reigns without her talking about him like that.
And watch when I meet him, I'm like, hi, I'm Paris. I'm such a fan of yours.
You're not gonna be able to speak.
No,
You're a
I'm
liar.
Be talking like that. Like, hi, I'm such a fan. I really like your in-ring work. It's just amazing. And don't believe any tweets you see about me because I do not know who the fuck Harry XO is.
Oh gosh, shut up. So, in the midst of Roman's promo about how he's gonna defeat AJ Styles, who's a #1 contender, the League of Nations actually interrupts, and Sheamus kind of says, you know, how tough would you be if you had to face one of us? And so Roman is kind of like, he's never scared. He's like, is this supposed to be frightening to me? Like, y'all are whack. But they all come out to the ring to kind of like fight him, and then the Wyatt family comes out.
And they fight League of Nations with Roman. And then Shane comes out and is like, wait, hold on. I like where this is going.
Right.
I've never seen the Wyatt. I never thought I'd see the day where Wyatt and Roman would team together.
Right.
He's like, so I want this match main event tonight. Book it.
Right.
Basically.
And so from there, we then have another tag team match because they're trying to get this tournament out the way for Payback, because I believe it's not this week, but the week after that.
Oh, shit. That's quick.
Yeah, they need... you know, it's so funny, like, WrestleMania was just here, and then weeks later, they're going to do another pay-per-view. But we have Paris' favorite tag team, Enzo and Cass, versus The Ascension.
I was like, what you talking about?
So they had Enzo and Cass versus The Ascension.
Oh, yeah, I'll come back from break.
And that was a quick match as well. Enzo and Cass picked up the win, and then the Dudley Boys come out and they have a little face-off a little bit. So even though there's a tag team tournament, there's still little feuds and rivalries going on.
Fuck them up, in all honesty.
Oh God, Paris. And so next we have a really good match: Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles.
Please, boo.
Let me tell you guys this. In addition to Cesaro and Roman Reigns, I really love Sami Zayn.
And I can see why. He's like an adorable.
He's so adorable.
Ginger.
And it's like you cannot not be happy when you see Sami Zayn.
Yeah, his music makes you fucking happy.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, if anybody other than Daniel Bryan and John Cena are going to be won over by children, I definitely see Sami Zayn being that. He's so energetic, he's so lovable, and he's a great wrestler. I just want him to stop throwing up his fucking arms, because I keep thinking he's going to get hurt again. But that's neither here nor there.
The life and tribulations of a fade.
I know. So then we have this match with him and AJ Styles. And I'm kind of warming up to AJ Styles a little bit.
I'm so cold. Ice cold. Who's cooler than being cold? Ice cold. That's me.
Anyways, Paris is just a mess. But they have this really great match.
The match was awesome.
It determined the #1 contendership.
Unfortunately,
So
it's AJ Styles.
So if, let's say, hypothetically, Sami Zayn was to win, it would be a triple threat at Payback.
And it would have been I would have paid.
It would have been a great one.
Yes, I would have. Yes, book it.
And then we have, if AJ wins, he continues to be the number one contender. So ultimately, AJ Styles did win the match, so he will be the number one contender for Roman Reigns at Payback. And of course, this is going to be a phenomenal, no pun intended, feud because they're both great workers. And as much as people don't like to give Roman his credit, Roman is probably one of the best in the company right now, in my opinion.
It's on my brain. I roll my eyes in my head so hard.
And AJ Styles is an amazing competitor. I can't wait to see the chemistry that they have in the ring. If anything, when you look at the Royal Rumble and they had the interaction, it looked really, really good. So we'll see.
I guess. Yeah.
And so we go into our next segment, which is the highlight reel with Chris Jericho. And Chris...
This was great.
Chris is a mess.
This,
so Chris has this segment where he usually has a guest, but his guest ended up being himself, talking about how great he is and how he's better than all the new guys that are coming up. And then Dean Ambrose, whom we haven't seen in a week, comes back, and he then tells Chris Jericho that it's no longer the highlight reel, it's the Ambrose Asylum, because Shane McMahon basically rejected him. Right, he canceled it. So Chris Jericho is kind of looking at him like, I know you're out here because I interrupted you on SmackDown, but let me just tell you, you're not about that life, and I will ruin you. And so Dean kind of gives him the dirty deeds pile driver, and it's building on a feud. I just want to make sure that they bring up the fact that they had that match at Night of Champions, I think, the tag team with the Wyatts, and beat the dog shit out of Chris Jericho for that. That match, in my mind, it did not exist, but let's just pretend it did for a second.
It did not exist.
And just beat the crap out of him for it. That match was horrible.
Whoop that trip.
And now finally we're going into the main event, which was League of Nations versus
Wyatt's with we're so
Bray Wyatt,
Wyatt's versus,
but it's Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns. Woo. And I have to say, this match was amazing.
Great.
Like, Bray and Roman work so well together, and it's kind of weird because during their feud together, I didn't think that they would have that much chemistry.
Cree didn't really like. I remember she didn't really like a lot of their matches because she felt like Bray wasn't that good of an in-ring worker. Yeah, like, I love Bray as, like, a speaker. I think that he does really well. And I think he's a strong competitor, but I felt like in the ring, he doesn't really do much for me. But I have to say, Bray Wyatt as a face, I might actually be on his side a little bit. Sorry.
And then towards the end of the match, Bray Wyatt hits Del Rio with the kiss from Sister Abigail. And he kind of points at Sheamus with a gun. Out of fucking nowhere, Roman Reigns comes and spears Sheamus. And if that wasn't the best gif of 2016, I don't know what will be. Because that was so amazing.
Yeah, no, that match was my favorite of Raw so far this year. Definitely.
It was great.
It was almost like WrestleMania quality.
Right.
Like, if the League of Nations had the belt and, like, Roman and Bray in some weird way had teamed up, that would have been cool.
And you know what's so funny? Like, I was making jokes, but I was like, oh, Dean Ambrose is probably backstage crying because him and Roman could never make a match this good. But
I don't want to.
And I love Ambrose, but, like, that match was really, really good.
No, it was.
And so they pick up the win, and they kind of leave off on, like, a face-off because Roman doesn't trust Bray, Bray don't trust Roman. And so
Roman's like, I'll never forget what you said about my daughter, which is, like, some real shit.
Like, so
it's taken for Roman.
So I'm kind of wondering how that's going to play into Payback. Like, obviously right now, Bray, we're not really sure if his injury is serious or not. Yeah. But, like, I feel like there may be an interruption during the match. Probably. Or this could be a prediction. Maybe Roman teams up with the Wyatt family and he kind of turns heel on AJ Styles. I know a lot of people are expecting the Bullet Club or whatever you're going to call them now that they're in WWE are going to help AJ, but who knows? Maybe they might turn on him.
Roman needs to turn heel.
Yeah. All right, so that was our Raw recap, and we're going to go really quick into our rants. I just want to really quickly speak on some things because we don't have a lot of time. Okay, so this week and maybe a week prior during WrestleMania week, a lot of female fans have been getting a lot of flack from male fans.
Ooh, you know what? You can take my rant time, too. Go ahead.
In terms of their opinions on wrestling. And I think it's really disheartening, and it really does bother me. I'm not going to lie. It's sexist, and it's annoying. The fact of the matter that you feel that because you have a penis, that you're somehow a more credible wrestling fan than I am is not fair to me. I've been watching since I was a little girl. I've been supporting this product with my opinions on this podcast and with my money. So at the end of the day, if I love Roman Reigns because he's fine as fuck, let that be it. But at the end of the day, I watch his matches. I watch Cesaro's matches. I watch Sami Zayn's matches. I watch all these people and I support them because I love the product and what it is. The fact of the matter, you feel like I'm only watching because I feel like someone's attractive is unfair and it's a slap in the face to all the female fans. And then we have female fans calling other female fans whores and coming for them on Twitter because they're supporting their favorites. That's disrespectful. You're part of Pick Me Twitter, I guess, because these boys are not going to respect you anyways because you have a vagina. It doesn't matter. You're not better than no one because you like an indie guy. You're not better than no one because you like a homegrown talent. We love wrestling. Can we just like it whether or not someone's attractive or not? Like, it's not fair that we always get this criticism. We like the product. Let us like what we like.
And then, like, just to add to what you're saying, like, just because I call Roman these names, whatever, and I'm like sexual, whatever, about this, that, the third,
right,
does not mean I will not admit when Roman has a bad match.
Right.
We've said it several times on these podcasts, like, yo, this match, Roman, it wasn't that good, whatever, he was off. We even said when we were going about his in-ring work. He was like, yeah, he needs to utilize his kicks more, stuff like that. So don't insult me and make it seem like I think with my vagina just because you think with your dick all the time.
Because the same people that try to come for you for liking Roman Reigns are the same people who make comments on Lana pictures, Paige pictures, Nikki Bella pictures, basically all the divas saying sexual things and talking about them in disgusting manners. Like, it goes both ways. Let's just not go there.
It's like, it's fine for us to, you know, make flirtatious jokes and stuff, whatever, with these wrestlers. But you don't ever really see women fans or female fans go over that line until, like, this is really creepy and disgusting and gross.
Yeah.
In a non-joking manner.
Right.
Like, yes, there are Roman fans who'll be like, oh my God, I would marry him. But you don't ever hear us say, oh, we're going to kill it. Like,
yeah, like, it doesn't get
as far as you guys go. You guys are literally disrespecting women on their profiles, like, oh my God, I'll rip your butt cheeks. I've seen these comments. And
let me tell you a really quick story this week. So, and this kind of goes into the Roman Empire. Like, the Roman Empire does get a bad rap because it turns, like, if you say something bad about Roman, we will show up in your mentions.
And
like,
it's fun. Like, it's Twitter.
And the thing is about it, what I don't understand, if only y'all put this much effort into supporting your favorites, maybe you would get a push. Like,
maybe they'll be main eventing WrestleMania 2 years in a row. Maybe.
It's like, and Roman knows it too because he's had several conversations with his fans at WrestleMania Access where he knows these boys are mad because none of these girls want to talk to them. And I hate to bring it there because it's not always about, like, male and female attraction because it's really not all the time.
But honestly, for me, what it is, if I was single and I went to these events or whatever, if I can feel off the bat you just don't like Roman because he's a good-looking guy,
that's horrible.
Off the rip, like, no. If you can literally say, I don't like Roman because it's out of the third, I respect your opinion.
And it's like, I was talking about, so Seth Rollins is going to be in a WWE movie with Wesley Snipes. And of course, I'll support that because I'll support that because I love Seth Rollins. Don't tell anybody in his fan base. But I like Seth Rollins. And so I'm going to support that when that comes out. But I was saying to myself, hashtag keep Roman away from WWE Studios. Because let's just be real, the quality, the quality of WWE Studios movies, like, they're not that great. And so someone was like, and then I was like, oh, you know, Roman has too much potential to really be fucking with those movies. And so some boy that was following me, he was like, oh, you mean potential mean he can't act? And I'm like, you know what? If you put all this effort into hating Roman, into loving your favorite, maybe they'll get some merch, maybe they'll get a push, maybe they'll be in a movie, maybe they'll get something, you know? You won't be sitting in the back being bored.
Yeah.
But he was like, oh, you're a stupid bitch because you love Roman. And I'm like, you couldn't even spell the word coherent, but I'm the stupid bitch. Are you kidding me? Like, I hate to give people like that life because it's clear that you guys are jealous and you don't have clear reasons to not like Roman. But at the end of the day, like, if you love your supported wrestler, whoever it is, you should be able to support them as much as you want.
Just like with Cree and I, and like a bunch of us too, Nate, Danielle, a lot of us love Naomi.
Yeah.
You see, like, we started creating, well, not we, those amazing
those
artists,
people,
because we ain't do shit but promote it. But those amazing artists, they created their own merch for Naomi because we didn't have merch until like a couple of months ago.
And then next you know, we got the T-shirt.
And again, the power of social media. It's like y'all think them days not checking, but low-key I do think they be checking sometimes. And like it's been low-key evidence on our podcast. We'll say something.
I mean, when y'all ready to hire me, just call me up. Let me stop.
Listen, in all honesty, though, the sexism needs to stop. That shit needs to die with the Attitude Era. Because the Attitude Era was very, very fucking sexist.
It's like, it's very glorified that they want violence against women, disrespectful promos. Like, you can, like, not like Roman, and that's fine. Because I follow a lot of people who don't fuck with Roman. Yeah. And you have your reasons, whether they're valid or not, in my opinion, and that's fine. But if you're going to attack me because I pay for his T-shirts, I go to pay to see him at shows, or I support whatever ventures that he has outside of WWE, how am I a stupid bitch, or how am I this, that, and the third because you don't agree with that?
Exactly. If I could have a civil conversation with you about why I do like Roman, why we don't have to agree on that, but we can still be friends.
Exactly. Paris, do you want to go with your rant really quick?
Not really, because I feel like that is more important than...
All right.
And I did it already kind of earlier with the whole... So, on that note,
we're going to close this out.
Podcast is wrapped up. The next one will come in 2017.
So, guys, don't forget to hit us up at theotr101@gmail.com. You can hit me up on Twitter at Cookies and Cree, COOKIESANDCREE. And you can hit Paris at
PAREEXO. Do you know what that means, man?
PAREEXO. And don't forget to spam her mentions with happy belated birthday tweets.
Yes.
And we don't know when the next podcast is going to come out.
Because it goes by studio time at this point.
Yeah, and right now I'm almost at spring break, and then after that will be finals. So hopefully maybe the next podcast will be around the time of Money in the Bank. So we do thank you guys for tuning in. I know this podcast is probably going to be super long, but thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you.
And we miss talking, too. Like,
yeah.
It's just, it's school, honestly. It's us trying to be better.
All right, guys. Be safe and make good decisions.
Or don't.
Yeah, have fun. And if you are, enjoy Coachella weekend. So
yes, don't be drugs in the desert.
All right, bye.
Adios.